Hi again, all my crafty friends. If you are new here, I'm Dawn, and you have found Designs by Gaddis. If you enjoy DIYs, flips, and everything farmhouse, you are in the right place. On my channel, I love bringing you fun, simple, and affordable home decor DIYs on a budget. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And if you like what you see, hit the bell notification and leave me a comment. Now for our first DIY. It's another Try It Tuesday challenge hosted by Sammy from Unicorn Designs, and this month's co-host is Rebecca from Rebecca Virginia DIY. These crafters are amazing, and if you haven't watched some of their DIYs, I'll leave a link in the description to their channels along with a link to this month's playlist. Be sure to check out all the amazing crafters in this challenge. Who knows, you may find someone else you like. And now for DIY number 1. This project was inspired by Life with Lizette. She made this adorable countertop ladder, and I just had to make one for myself. I loved it so much. I cut down some wood sticks. I guess that's what you would call them. They were in my wood pile, and I thought they would work perfectly. I cut the 2 side pieces at 15 inches and the 3 rungs in the middle at 6 inches. Sorry, but I forgot to hit record on the camera for the first 2 rungs of the ladder. I looked up at the camera before I started the 3rd and hit record. I didn't use any glue. I found these long screws in some of my husband's stuff and used 6 of them to put the ladder together. I came down about 1.5 inches from the top of the ladder to place the first rung. I drilled a pilot hole through the side piece and the middle piece so the wood wouldn't split, and then used the screws to screw them in. Once I had the ladder put together, I put some water in a bowl and added Waverly ink chalk paint and mixed it well. I stained the entire ladder with this mixture. I simply painted it on and then rubbed it off with a couple of baby wipes. Once the paint had dried, I painted the entire ladder with Waverly plaster chalk paint. I did what I call a messy paint job because I knew I was going to be distressing it. Once I had the first side painted, I dried it with my hot air gun. I held the gun close to the paint so it would get a bubbling and cracking effect. I wanted the ladder to look like something that would have came out of my great-grandmother's farmhouse. Old, rustic, used, and worn. I did the same thing on the other sides of the little ladder. I had seen another crafter use a Dollar Tree emery board to distress some of her projects and thought I'd give it a try. It worked great, but I think I'll be using it on much smaller projects than this. I think my sanding block would have been a lot faster. Once I was finished, I cleaned the ladder with some water and paper towels to remove all the dust and stuff. And just look at how cute this little ladder is. I've been wanting to do this for quite a while and have been rather intimidated by it. I'm not sure why. I thought it would have been a lot harder than it actually was. Next up, DIY number 2. This DIY project was inspired by a post I saw on Unicorn Design's Facebook page by Mary Lagana. I saw it and just had to recreate it for my home. I used 4 Dollar Tree wood blocks, some 25 and 20 millimeter beads from Amazon, and some jute twine. And I left everything in the natural color. I found the center of each block by using a ruler and drawing an X on the top. My center point will be where the X's cross. After I had all 4 of my blocks marked, I drilled a hole using a large drill bit into all 4 of them. I made sure the hole was large enough so that I could get the twine to go through it. I wrapped a small piece of painter's tape around the end of the twine to keep it from fraying and to make it easier to slip through the blocks and the beads, and began stringing everything together. To start with, the pattern I used was a block, a 20 millimeter bead, a 25 millimeter bead, and then another 20 millimeter bead, and then I repeated these steps until I was at the end. I decided I wanted to have the beads on the outside of the garland, so I cut enough twine from the beginning of the garland to place 3 more beads. I printed out the word home using my Cricut and applied the vinyl to each of the blocks. I'll leave a link to the cut file if you have a Cricut and want to try this project for your home. I created tassels for both ends of the garland by wrapping twine around a piece of wood several times, tying the end of the garland through the center of the tassel, and wrapping the twine around the top of the tassel. I used hot glue to hold this part together. I then used a lighter to burn some of the fuzzies, I guess that's what you'd call them, away, and to give the tassel a darker, more rustic look. I wrapped some of the twine around the top of the string here and secured it with hot glue. To make sure the tassels were close to the same length, I held them together and trimmed them up. I think this garland turned out amazing, and it looks so high end. You would have thought you would have got it from a store. And last but not least, DIY number 3. This project was inspired by crafting with Maria. I finally found the cute little drawers at my Dollar Tree and was so excited to find them that I couldn't remember what I had been wanting them for. Let me know in the comments if you ever get so excited to find something you've been looking for forever. I saw this little display that Crafting with Maria had made and wanted to give it a try. I laid the drawers out the way I wanted them to sit and began gluing them together with hot glue. I placed the 2 inside drawers on the outside with the opening facing up, and I placed the outside of the drawers in the middle facing down. By doing this, I'm able to use this little piece in 2 different ways. I mixed water and black paint together to create a black stain for the drawers and painted everything. I mean the entire piece inside and out. I used a paper towel to wipe the stain off. And then used Waverly plaster chalk paint and painted everything. I wasn't worried about a perfect paint job because I knew I was going to distress it. And I'm not going to bore you with me painting this entire thing. Once everything was dry, I used a sanding block and an emery board to distress everything. I wanted the piece to look old and used. I paid special attention to the areas that would be faded with normal use, the edges and the sides. I used some Dollar Tree wood letters and spelled out home and painted the letters with black chalk paint. Once the letters were dry, I glued them to the front. I used 2 Dollar Tree Crafters jars, the plastic ones, as vases in the 2 side boxes of the piece. I applied a layer of Mod Podge first, just to make sure the paint would adhere to the plastic. I then painted the jars with Waverly Elephant chalk paint. And wrapped a piece of twine around the top of each jar. I placed some Dollar Tree rocks in the bottom of the jars to give them some weight. I had some sprigs of eucalyptus I had gotten from a yard sale and cut them down to fit into the jars. I think this little piece turned out so cute, and it can be used with the boxes on the sides like this, or with the boxes in the middle like this. Let me know in the comments what you think of this cute little piece. If you haven't already, go ahead and like this video and subscribe to my channel. I upload weekly home decor DIY videos, and you know you don't want to miss any of them. So go ahead and hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when I upload a new video. Until next time, happy crafting!